Debbie,
Hello there, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Where in the world do you come from?
I'm in near Denver, Colorado.
Oh, nice. Skiing season coming soon?
It is. I probably won't ski anymore, but I used
No.
to, that's why I actually moved here 30 or 40 years ago.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've skied in Europe. I've skied New York and Japan. My wife's Japanese, so we skied up in Osaka, sort of not Osaka. I forgot what it's called, but where they have the Olympic Games, and we've gone over there.
Yeah,
Nearly
that
everybody was
I've,
snowboarding when I did it.
oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm pretty much a Colorado skier. I learned how to ski, believe it or not, in Illinois,
Oh, cool.
which is pretty flat, but
Yeah.
they had a little hill. So that's
Yeah,
where
we've been
that's.
quite lucky. We've been a couple of times where it's been icy everywhere else, so it's not unskiable. And then the resort we were in was the only resort that had any snow. So even my dad was a
Oh,
good picker,
okay.
or we were favoured in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never had to ski like icy conditions. The east coast of the US or the east, eastern states, apparently their skiing can be very icy.
Mhm.
I've never skied there, and I was always pretty much a fair weather skier. It had to be,
Yeah.
nice weather.
And do you still go up there? Do you go like walks, or they do that
I
sort of skiing where you walk sort of thing? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, the cross country skiing,
Yeah.
certainly, because it's really accessible and you don't even have to go up into the mountains because I live right
Yeah.
near the foothills.
Oh,
So
nice.
the cross country skiing, as long as there's snow, there's not as much snow on the front range of the mountains as people
Hmm.
think. You
Right.
you do have to just drive 45 minutes, and hit the
Yeah.
elevation. But yeah, I've got, Colorado's a great place for just outdoor anything, bike riding and hiking and rock climbing and all that stuff. It's all good.
Yeah. Keeps you fit as you move towards old age. So, they say lots of
Oh,
time it's keeping your lower body is good. Like, yeah, people who tend to live longer, they tend to live like higher up, and then they have to
yep.
work their bodies, that sort of thing. There was a show called The
Let
Blue
me tell
Zone, which
you,
is all about
yeah,
longevity.
I am, I am feeling good about it now as I am getting older and, starting to feel all the hinges kind of seize up a little bit. But all my life I've been athletic. So excuse me, it's paying off some.
Yeah, I've been trying to exercise every day. So since July, beginning of July, I've been exercising every day. So I do badminton as my main sport, and then I just went for a short walk before here. Bit less than usual. I usually do 30 minutes, but I just did a 15-minute quick one. So that's sort of my minimal viable exercise for the day.
Right.
If I can do
Just
15
uh
minutes.
just to check it off the list. You get to do it. You
That's
don't
right.
feel like, oh, I feel like if I stop doing something, it's harder to get started. So I try,
Yeah.
even if I can only do a little bit, I try and keep it in the regular routine.
Hmm.
So,
And it's the same sort of thing with doing your work. It can be handy just to say, oh, I'm going to do 10 minutes because they call it the Zeigarnik effect. Once you get started, then you carry on. I tend to.
and actually that's kind of my area of expertise, productivity and
Nice.
time tracking.
Yeah.
And discipline is kind of my middle name, but a lot of people don't have that kind of discipline. And
Mhm.
so I have methods for just do it for 10 minutes. And if you still feel like you need to quit after 10 minutes, that's fine. But you're right. If you just get started, you'll be like, oh, maybe I'll keep doing this until I finish this task.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you tend to pick up momentum. So yeah, it is, you have to talk yourself into it. But as long as you understand that concept, so you don't feel like, oh, it's going to be so horrible and I'm torturing myself, making myself do something I don't want to do. Just like, no, you
Yeah.
don't have to make yourself do it. Just give yourself 10 minutes, give yourself a chance. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how it works.
Yeah, I've been looking at ADHD and trying to create like an operating system. I haven't been diagnosed, but I've got a good feeling that I might have it. My brother is about 10 years younger. He was recently diagnosed. I'm sort of coming up on 50 and he's yeah about 40. And my daughter's been waiting for a diagnosis for about a year and a half for autism, ADHD, that sort of stuff. My son's autistic, so yeah, it's possible. Uh, I usually got loads of tabs open, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm just trying to see how I can work more effectively and get things done.
Yeah, Paul, I'd like to, I mean, until we have anybody else on the call, that
Mm.
actually is a subject of mine that I always want to push back on that. We all have a lot of
Mhm.
tabs open. We all have
Yeah.
things that are distracting us. I just went through, I had to clean out my Dropbox because it had, exceeded storage. And I went back to 2009 when I was
Mhm.
writing about manage your distractions, find your flow, let your momentum carry you. But distractions are part of life today. And
Yeah.
it's just so common for people to claim ADHD
Mhm.
that I I get put off by it because
Yeah.
it's easy to say, "Oh, I've got ADHD. Sorry, can't do it." And it's like,
Yeah.
don't look for excuses for why you can't.
Yeah.
Manage the situation. And if it means having to write yourself notes to shut down tabs or whatever, it's a matter of self-discipline, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I also know that I think we are all on the spectrum someplace
Mhm.
because we all have these areas of our care of our personalities where we're either, for me, it can be hyperfixation,
Mhm.
um, or you have pet peeves or OCD or whatever. That's our personalities. It's
Yeah.
it's not a condition. It's
Mhm.
not an excuse for not rising to the occasion.
Yeah.
And when people do bring their excuse to me, it becomes my problem.
Yeah.
And I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not trying to have it as an excuse. I'm trying to find, yeah, what strategies and frameworks that you can use. So yeah, it doesn't matter what the label is. It's yeah, what can help. So
right.
yeah, like we're talking about, exercise is useful. Trying to eat healthily is a useful strategy, so it's trying to free up your brain. And yeah, working out, I do Pomodoros and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, just
And it's all
there's
really, it all to me boils down to self-discipline. Make the
yeah,
commitment and then respect yourself enough to follow up on the commitment.
yeah.
And if you can't do that, it's because you've never been asked to do it, I think, as a
Mhm.
child.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, people will like the first thing they'll do on introduction, oh, I'm neurodivergent. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so I guess that makes me special because I'm not neurodivergent, or if I am, I think it's a meaningless word.
Yeah.
Neurodivergent means you don't think normally. Who
Hmm.
thinks
Who
normally?
does? Yeah.
Who thinks normally?
Yeah.
That's what makes us so interesting. We
Hmm.
all come from different angles. We all have different passions. We all have different interests and abilities and skill sets. And so what's normal? And if you're
Hmm.
not normal, that makes you neurodivergent. And why would you lead your introduction with that? Are you looking for
Yeah.
sympathy? You're looking for an excuse? You're looking to get out of something? It makes, so anyways, thank you for letting me
Yeah.
vent. It is really a trigger for me.
That's okay.
It
I
is
mean,
really,
I agree with you. I think it's like we have animal biodiversity. We also need human biodiversity. We need all sorts of minds. We have people who are, they talk about the intelligence, they have the IQ test, but then there's all sorts of intelligences. There's people who have musical intelligence, people who have emotional intelligence, people who have an affinity for science and people have affinity for, nature and all sorts of things. So yeah, I think it's, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse. I'm trying to say, yeah, just if there are limitations, so if there are blocks that hold you, then what are the keys to sort of unlock those and move forward? So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think that's useful.
My
That's probably what you're
my
looking.
my angle for this stuff is, like you say, you use Pomodoro. I run a clock all the time.
Hmm.
My time tracker is always, so as I launch into a meeting, I write down, join the Apex Builders meeting. When that's done, I switch over to the next thing I'm doing. Get ready to go golfing because that's what I'm doing
Yeah,
today. But I write it all down,
yeah,
and it's automatic. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. And
Hmm.
and I have had AI analyze my monthly logs
Hmm.
and just say, hey, you did a lot on this project last month, and what are you going to do to continue the momentum? So I'm feeding my AI with
Yeah.
my objectives, and it analyzes what I have done, and it helps me
Hmm.
to kind of figure out what I'm doing going forward. But writing everything down or just, somehow recording it to me
Hmm.
is a great strategy for maintaining focus. And it's,
Yeah. And what are you using? Are you using ChatGPT or Claude or something else?
well, I'm using ChatGPT and Claude for my
Mhm.
AIs, but for my time tracking, I use Paymo because
Right.
Paymo is actually a project management software that I started
Mhm.
using about 13 years ago. And it became very handy. It's now, as I'm hearing more people talk about the second brain, it's
Yeah.
literally second brain
Yeah.
because I capture everything in there that I know I'm gonna probably want to know, like review later or
Hmm.
revisit later. So I do I've got it tracking all the time, and I
Hmm.
can always say, you know what? I worked on a watercolor sketch, and I was watching a YouTube. I go back to that month. I search
Hmm.
for the word watercolor. Oh yeah, there's what you saved that YouTube that you were watching when you learned how to watercolor raspberries.
Yeah.
And it's just keeps, but that's one of my kind of pet peeves is
Hmm.
I always say, and excuse my language, but I always say, don't make me hunt for shit.
Yeah.
And if I start looking for something, and it's like, oh, where did I put that? That is a distraction that will take me off my track and could really just like, ruin my day because I
Yeah.
can't find something that I need. And so
Yeah.
I set up my system so that I can find everything, and my time tracking system is my second brain. It's like, where did I need that? And of course you can, search words, and I
Yeah.
can pull up my reports. I'll say, oh yeah, that's right. I found it on this day, this day, this day. I saved a URL for it, and I'm done searching. And then I no longer lose time, kind of banging my head against a wall. So, so that is
Yeah.
to me, that is a method for minimizing distractions. And
Hmm.
distractions are the core of ADHD, apparently.
Yeah.
People say, oh, I'm distracted, I'm distracted. We're all distracted. Tell
Yeah.
yourself you can't be distracted. It's self-discipline, It's
Yeah. Lots of
hard, but
time
it's
it's
it's it's doable.
Yeah, lots of time it's sort of they say it's sort of over focus rather than under focus. It's yeah, you got too much. You try so it's like narrowing that focus down to what you need. And yeah, like you say, if you got distractions, if you got everything's a mess, then it's like very easy to be distracted. Do you use WhatsApp at all?
I have not used that. That
Mhm.
is that kind of a social channel for international messaging? Is
Not
that what you said,
particularly.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, it tends to be. It's owned by Meta, and it tends to be. So instead of SMS, people just use WhatsApp instead, and it allows you to have groups. So, for example, I've got a family group with all of our family. I've got one with just my wife and my daughter, and then I can also message each of my children. You can send messages. With SMS, often they'll charge you if you send an image. I think it's like $1 a year or something very low cost, but they've got millions of users. Uh,
Yeah,
and then yeah, it just allows you. So it's like Telegram or Discord or something like that. A
yeah,
lot
I
better.
use text. We put together group texts for,
Mhm.
my exercise group, my family group, and then we use Facebook Messenger. That's where my
Yeah,
siblings, I've got five siblings. So we have use at Facebook Messenger at no
yeah,
charge.
yeah.
But it's,
You
you
can think
know,
of it similar to that, like Facebook Messenger. You can set up a group, you can message people, and you can send images, but it uses people's number, so people on WhatsApp you can send it through there. Yeah, what I've worked on is it's called an MCP, which is a model context protocol you might have heard of, which allows you to link one thing, so you can link Claude with something else. It's a bit like you're talking about being able to find things. I find Gmail really frustrating. You're trying to search, you put this and this, and it just searches each of those, and it's like you just want to be able to put it in quotes and only search that term, and it never seems to work properly. And so if you've got some way to be able to connect into your Gmail, or yeah, if you want to be able to access files, so within Claude you can connect it to your Google Drive, for example, or you could also link it into your local file system. So this is an example of that, where you connect it to your WhatsApp type thing. So it sounds like it won't be that useful to you, but I could quickly show you how that runs, and it's fine
Yeah,
if we
no,
switch focus and things. Yeah,
one of the things that it's a guideline for myself is I use the tools I know how to use,
yeah,
and I do not get distracted by the new shiny stuff. It's like, oh
mhm,
yeah, it sounds good, like it's working for somebody, does not
yeah,
make me yearn for it. So
yeah,
um, I'm very careful about not, constantly learning new tools, because there is a
yeah,
tool for everything. There's an AI
yeah,
for everything. There's
yeah.
when I used to build websites on oh, I even forgot that um I was just reading all the notes for WebCamp or something.
WordPress,
Like
Joomla.
WordPress, yeah. And there was an app, there were our plugin. There's plugin for that. There's a plugin for that. There's plug. I spent
Yeah,
so much time. I call it sharpening the pencil and never writing the book.
yeah,
Constantly learning something new because someone said, "Oh, you got to try this," and our sometimes our shallow depth of attention has us launching off to that. And if I don't need the tool, I'm not going to learn to. It's good to be aware of
mhm,
it, but
yeah,
don't I don't hunt things down to learn, because I'm learning so much every single day, just trying to keep up with the day to day. So
yeah,
yeah, the distraction of new tools, that's, people are like, I've got ADHD, I got to go do this, I got to do. No, you don't need the tool. You're already
mhm,
using SMS text, or you're already using Facebook group, or you're already using whatever. You don't need another tool,
yeah.
so I
I
think
mean, the same thing
people
may
might.
apply. Yeah, you could create something where it just keeps track of your, for example, your messenger calls. There may be something like that. Say, or I use Notion and Obsidian, which are sort of knowledge management tools. Obsidian I use for my, like you were talking about, your second brain. I study with Nick Miley, who
Yeah,
runs the
somebody
Knowledge
brought up.
Accelerator and teaches about second brain and things. So,
Yes, somebody brought up Obsidian. Jamie Morales, who's a member of our community, of the Apex community, he brought up Second Brain probably a month or two ago, and Obsidian was what he, suggested. So,
yeah,
I'm not adverse to going and looking at it. And I looked at it and I was like,
mhm,
very complicated. I'm already doing everything Obsidian can do. No need for me to look any further. But I'm aware of Obsidian now, if
yeah,
people are looking for a tool. But
yeah,
I feel very well equipped with my processes and my systems, and I'm, super efficient using what I have.
yeah,
So, I just stick with what I know. When I consult on productivity, people will be like, "What tool should I use?" I said, "Use the one you know how
mhm,
to use." Because
yeah,
the learning curve, you can spend a lot of time searching for stuff, and you can spend a lot of time learning stuff. And
mhm,
those reduce your productivity immensely.
mhm,
And it's a constant challenge then for people to try and get stuff done.
yeah.
So resist the urge.
Yeah. So yeah, we could take this a few ways. I could show you, for example, maybe if I just demonstrate, yeah, what I've got set up, and then yeah, just linking some of those things together. So if you've got Claude Desktop, you can link it together to different tools. So it's more the principle rather than the exact tools you might find useful. And it's also for people who watch the replay, might
Hmm.
be show you. So let me just go over here. So I've got this sort of WhatsApp program that's running, and then it keeps track of all my messages. So you can think of it similar to if you had an SMS, then it's just listening for different messages on here. And then you can see this is a message from my friend Brian. This is sort of, I have different messages. This is my wife, Paul and Sinai. And then what I can do within my Claude, for example, let's just go into my Claude. I'm running Claude Desktop. What you can do is you can connect different tools together. So under developer, you can see, for example, I've got a connection with WhatsApp here, which has just failed, but you can connect that, and you've also got these extensions which allow you to sort of connect to different tools. And then under connectors here, you can connect to Gmail, to your Notion. So Notion is just like a management tool which allows you to
Yeah,
store
I've used
information.
it. I've tried that out.
Yeah. So you can see here we've got Airtable, Claude, then MCP Docker allows you to have other things connected as well. And you can connect to your Google Drive, which will allow you to read information from there. So
And
for
what if you
example,
have several Google Drives?
mhm,
Do,
good question. I don't know if you can connect multiple. You may have to do it a slightly different way. On Claude itself, you can just connect the one Google Drive, I believe. If I come into here, connectors, then let's have a look. Yeah, you just got connect or disconnect, but there might be a way to achieve it where you can have more than one. Let's see that one there. Okay. Then if I go into my projects, then one of the things I've been trying to do is to lose weight, and I've been using Claude for that. So for example, here you can see I've got this is yesterday's meal planning. And if I scroll up, so I told it what herbs I've got, and it can see what herbs I've got. And then you can see here it creates pages within my Notion. It also allows me to search. So I've created a food database in my Notion database, and Claude created that for me. And then anytime I give it new food, then I'll update my Claude database. And then also I talk about food with my wife. So she might, for example, take photos of food, and then also she might give a breakdown of how many grams I've had in it in and that sort of thing, then I can just get it to read that from my WhatsApp messages. So that's the main reason I set it up, was to be able to do that. So yeah, I just went and gave it information on the different herbs I've got. Then it's going to update my database. Yeah, so it's got the food database. It's got all my existing products. Then Tuesday, Saturday, we get a shop, and then what I do is I import my invoice. So all of my shopping results, and then it has all of the food we've ordered, and then that goes in, and then it helps me with my meal planning. So based on what I've got, you can say here's a keto meal based on the food you've got, and we sort of keep track of that sort of information here. I also said, because I'm doing badminton, I wanted something that helps with, I was feeling a bit sluggish because I'm in the first couple of weeks where you tend to have keto flu and things. So you can see here it broke down the electrolytes. So it gives me the calories, proteins, fats, and carbs. And then you can see here's the electrolyte balances. We want some magnesium can be useful in those weeks, potassium, and then sodium, a mix of those different things there. And then also, if my protein levels are low, I've bought some protein powder, which allows me to help mix it up. So yeah, it gives you suggestions for food, and then you can choose which one you want to go for. And then for my wife, I give all the details on how to prepare it and what the sizes are, and then that goes to my wife. And then sometimes she'll give me some improvements to the plans, and those I incorporate into the project. So within the project here, if you go to here, you can go to edit, click on this one here. Then at the top, you've got files you can add, and you've all got the instructions. So I've got instructions here. My goal weight is 94 kilograms. And then every day, start with a new day. So 2 meals, I just have a lunch and dinner. I have like a keto coffee, which is a mix of coffee, water, cream, and butter and MCT oil. So that sort of keeps me going until lunchtime. And then I have that. So yeah, we want to try and hit a target of 100 grams, which can be quite tricky for daily grams. And then it just breaks down each of my days there. So then I get a log with the proteins, and I'll show you in a minute in the Notion how that goes. So I don't have to manually go and update my Notion. It just automatically updates that. So in the same way, you might have something that automatically updates from Claude. ChatGPT doesn't yet have MCP built into the platform, so that's why Claude is quite useful if you've got that. And it tracks my exercise. So I try and do. So what I'll do is I'll track my steps for today. So for example, in here, if I just grab my phone a second, I'll just put my mileage. And I've got like a steps counter on here, so I just use that to track my steps, and I'll put that into there. It wasn't very much today, like I said. It's that doesn't seem quite right. Let's go there. But yeah, if I just upload that. Count for today. Right, give me a second. I'll just get that in there. And just going to add that in there. Okay. That should show in there in a minute. What I can do in here, we'll have a go, see if it works. I could say, let's, what was discussed today in WhatsApp with my wife with regards food. And yeah, I'll share some information in the group for if people did want to install this WhatsApp to create a guide around that. So you can see here, it's going to my WhatsApp, it's scanning the messages, it's listing the messages, and it's thinking about it. So now I just have to allow it. So I go always allow. Then it's anniversary today as well. So I could ask, what we're planning for the anniversary, for example. If I do.
A wedding anniversary?
Yeah, we've been married for, I think it's 24 years now. So
Oh,
25 years next year.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a big 25 next year. Yeah, I bought my wife's Japanese, so I bought this there's a place in Fitzrovia and they do the sort of hot plates where you can cook the Wagyu beef and that sort of thing, and then sushi. It's a 5-course meal, and then we'll probably try and book a sort of massage nearby and maybe stay overnight somewhere. And then I found a couple of
Nice.
nice places, yeah, that they do coffee or patisseries and stuff like that. So we'll try and make a nice day of it, probably in November
Yeah.
now. Yeah. What about yourself? Are you married, Debbie?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm very much a solo person.
Okay, no worries. Cool. They say when you're single, your pockets do jingle. That's my dad used to
Yeah.
say anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see here, a bit like you were saying, if you can minimize the disruption. So as it was, I had to keep copying messages from my WhatsApp into Claude and back again, and so it was taking a lot of headaches. So that's what I looked into. Can we connect it via WhatsApp? So it wasn't
Mm.
super simple. The code I found didn't work straight away, so I used a thing called Claude Code, which you can use if you've got the Claude Max subscription. I think it can also work with, yeah, it can work with the paid subscriptions. And then I asked it to update the code. I gave it all the error messages, and it sort of fixed the code. And then I've updated that and made it available for people. So if you download the original, it wouldn't work. And then it connects using web WhatsApp. So you can see here, it gave me the plan, and then we said, yeah, we use the leftovers from yesterday. So then I could say, okay, thanks. So coffee and leftovers. And my steps for today. Can you create me a summary, including the macros? So I'll be a bit low, so I could have a pudding a bit later because I got 25 grams of carbs a day on the keto diet. And all sorts of things. So yeah, I've got these little sticks, you might be able to see. It's called
Hmm.
keto sticks, and then
Okay.
that maps where I am on the keto cycle. So it has different colors. Can't see it, but yeah, it's got different colors. It
And
shows how far you're onto keto.
Paul, can you just tell me what keto is? I mean, I've heard it. I
Yeah,
don't count calories.
yeah,
I don't restrict my diet at all for anything.
sure.
I just eat when I'm
Yeah,
hungry. What
yeah.
is keto?
The keto diet is principally lowering your carbs, so the amount of the amount of bread, rice, or sugars out of your diet. So you're minimizing those, and then you're increasing the amount of sort of healthy fats. And the idea is the reason why it's called keto is you enter a state of ketosis, and that's where your body, instead of burning sort of sugars and carbs, it turns into burning the fats. So
Oh,
that's why quite a lot of people tend to lose weight. So I lost about I lost about 2 to 3 kilograms in the first week. My goal is about half a kilogram a week. So a combination of it also can help you be full a bit more, and sometimes people say it helps with focus. So we'll see about that. But yeah, that's the basis. Is
okay.
you've got low low carbs and then higher fats, and then you want to try and keep your proteins. And if you're trying to lose weight, you have your calories a bit lower than you would typically have. So yeah, you want a deficit of calories. I eat 2 times a day mainly, so then I have this. They call it intermittent fasting. You have a period between when I go to bed. So my last meal is usually about 7 o'clock, and then I won't have another something to eat until probably midday. I'll have my coffee. So then you've got this period where it allows your body to sort of sort itself out a bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard people talk about it, but never really knew what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it had something to
Um,
do with staying healthy. So,
yeah. And people, you could do it intermittently, but it's also supposed to help. The big thing was around it was the John Hopkins. They found it was useful for diabetes, and my wife's got a diabetic, so it could be useful for diabetes. But they've also
okay.
found it could be useful for mental health disorders and things like that. Obviously, with most anything to do with diet, you'll have both sides of the story and that sort of thing, where
Yeah.
there'll be proponents and people against it. So yeah, I plan to do sort of 4 to 6 weeks, take a 1 week break, and then go back on it. So yeah, they call it they call it sort of carb refeeding or recycling. So you have these periods. I've got a little holiday coming up end of October, so that'll be my period. I won't go too crazy, but I'll allow a bit more carbs and stuff into my diet and
Yeah.
change it a bit. Yeah, because that can
Yeah.
be the difficulty. If you don't stick with a diet, it's no good doing it, because you do keto for say for 6 months and then you come off it, all the weight would just come back on again. So you want to try and find
Well,
something you could do. So whatever it might be. Yeah.
yeah. There was a time in my life when I was training for some endurance work, and I did this diet that where so that I was metabolizing properly for endurance, workout. And I stuck with it fine. We ate a lot of, brown rice and black beans and
Yeah.
just weird stuff. And, it was
Yeah.
fine because I don't really care about food. So I'll just eat whatever I'm supposed to. And then when we finished, you could only do it for 3 months.
Mm.
I think I ate like a bag of potato chips. I was in
Yeah.
bed for a week. I got
Mm.
so sick because my body had, so yeah, you have to be careful how you regulate yourself on and off of you know, these diets. But
Yeah.
it was, it worked.
And
It worked well for, I could ride a bike for half a day straight and
yeah. Yeah,
without
it sounds
dropping.
similar. It's like lowering your carbs if you're eating brown rice instead of white rice and that sort of thing. Yeah, and having beans and things like that. So it sounds like it may be a variant of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So you can
it
see
was called
here,
like Eat to Win, I think, or something like that.
right?
That was pretty
Yeah.
interesting too.
So yeah, this is in my Notion. I didn't add any of this myself. It was all added via Claude. So it gave me
Oh,
my
okay.
Saturday macros. So it says my exercise, how many calories I burnt, my net carbs for the day. I was a little bit over my 25-gram target. That's because I added some pistachio cream to I have mascarpone, and I added a sort of this pistachio cream was a little bit sugary, and so probably should have cut that out. And then also it creates this food inventory. So if I click on that, then you'll see here, if I make that bit bigger, let's get rid of this sidebar. So
Oh,
this is
that's
in
cool. The
Notion, by the way.
pantry. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see here it's added all the food items, and then which the brand is, the calories, the carbs, category, is it good for keto or not? You got some stuff in here I should probably try and avoid. Um, And then it also gives me the net carbs per 100 grams. They have a thing called net carbs. So sometimes fiber will release the overall carbs. So it's not just a carbs, it's the net carbs that's of interest. And it's got like proportion sizes. So yeah, this is the fats per 100 grams and that sort of thing. And then it categorizes also. It did all this for me. And then as I will do a shop tonight, and then when we get a receipt, I'll add that into here for Tuesday, and then that'll update any new things, and then try and keep a track of how many we've got. So yeah, it shows you the purchase
So
date. So things
when
that
you
are old.
enter your when you enter your receipt, are you entering that
Mhm.
manually line by line, or can you scan it in and have it read it?
No, I just upload the PDF. So let me just show you if I go to
Because that's a
here.
handy, yeah.
Yeah, let me just quickly show you if I come into here. Mhm. And then if I look for Sinai, that one there. So yeah, this should come up in a second. It's my wife, so she sends the receipt over to me. And then this is the PDF. So what I'll do is I'll just upload this PDF. It has these are the groceries, what we've bought.
Oh, great.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then it's got all of that sort of stuff. And then if I wanted to, I could use something like the agent. So you might have seen in ChatGPT, you've got an agent. It can go out and it can look at websites, and then it can pull down the stats for you. So yeah, typically when she gets it, she'll take a photo of any new stuff we haven't scanned in before. And in the UK, we have these sort of guidelines, have different colours for each of the systems. I could probably quickly show you that as well. Let me just go to here. And if I go to and then if I search, for example, for that's all weird putting out yesterday. Let's try to just give an example. So yeah, she'll take photos of the food and things like that. This is my keto stick, so it shows I'm in positive ketosis. You're in ketosis. Your strip confirms it. Um, High fat intake is supporting your ketone production. These are soups. So yeah, we've got our soup maker, and then she's got these sort of molds, so we can create multiple versions of soups and then freeze some of them. So it gives me a bit of variety.
Great. Yeah.
Um, and so just yeah, something like this is what it shows as. So you can see it here, the pistachio cream's a bit naughty. It's high in sugars, 8% sugars. So what we'll do is we'll upload those, and then those will get added to. It doesn't map all of these. We're not too bothered about everything, but yeah, the fats, the carbs, that sort of stuff, the sugars we map into there. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, we could map every single one of those into the database as well, which is quite handy.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, that's the advantage of using these MCP servers, which are built into Claude, or you can sort of set up and say, for example, in here, I could just say, looking at my WhatsApp messages for today with my wife, Cowen, give me a summary uh, of the wedding anniversary plans. See if I can do that. There we go. Sometimes you have to be a bit exact here. That might not work sometimes, and then you have to give it the exact number or give it an example message, and then it's able to find it. So you can see it's filtering. And if you expand any of these, it will show you what it's doing. So that's the request it's sending across. And that's a little program I've got on mine. Every 15 minutes, it tells me to rest my eyes. So if I'm not doing a training, then I just try to look in the distance or roll my eyes and things. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I can show you as well in a bit the stuff I'm doing the ADHD. So yeah, I should come back in a minute. We'll do that while let me just go to home and then library. There we go. So yeah, I was just doing some research about different people. So these are different models around ADHD and that sort of thing. Um, So yeah, you got Dr. Thomas E. Brown, who's got six cluster executive function model, and then you got Russell Barkley, he's got his self-regulation framework. There's this guy Dan Martell, who's an entrepreneur, and he's got ADHD, and he says how it's a superpower and that sort of thing. So um, nutrition, daily movement, sleep, morning routine, pomodoros, energy management, using music. I use something called brain.fm, and then time blockers. So some of the things we talked about. And
Mhm.
it's yeah, trying to work on your zone of genius and get other people to do the other stuff. So you're, focusing on the things which you're good at. Jay Abrahams, this guy I did some training for a little while ago. And then Dan Sullivan, you might have heard of. He's got a book called Who Not How, which is delegating things out and then trying to create these like big goals and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's got some recommendations around food and things somewhere in here. So yeah, Bacopa monnieri, saffron, omega-3, magnesium, iron, and zinc. So I can incorporate it into my diet. I could say, let's incorporate these into diet to try and improve symptoms, that sort of stuff. I have been taking this supplement. It's nootropics, but hasn't really helped much in terms of sort of getting me super focused. And
That
I
that
use a
one
tool
was it
called
that Bacopa, that first one that I've never heard of that before.
No, me neither. So any of these you can click on that information. So you go on number 25, for example, and then it'll bring up the article. So that's I don't know if you played around with Perplexity, but it's quite a nice tool for doing research.
Yep,
You
I
may
had
still be
that.
able to get a free account if you're interested, because
Yeah,
they were
I've been
offering people
I've been
paper.
using Perplexity for quite a while.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Again, there might be a way to. I'd like to try and connect Perplexity to my Claude, so then if I've done, I can sort of just pull information and that sort of stuff. So, yeah,
Mhm.
these are some information here. Bacopi Monnieri, also known as Brahmi, is a
Yeah, there we go.
Ayurvedic
There's a new
curve.
word.
Yeah, it contains active compounds called bacosides that enhance the activity of brain chemicals involved in cognition and neural communication. Yeah, the one I've been taking, what was it called? That's 1 second. I'll have a look. It's got good ratings, but I didn't find much difference. And I've been taking a max dose of 4 per day. I'll send them a message just in case I'm doing something wrong. Uh, uh, let's go to that's the one. Yeah, they're called Mind Lab Pro is one I take. Mind Lab Pro. Universal Nootropic, it's a brain supplement. This one here, I've just been taking for about the last 30 days or something. So yeah, it's got like good ratings out of 2,582. You can see
Mhm.
lots of articles about it, and it's supposed to help with focus, memory, and clarity. Um, it's got all these like active ingredients and things. So it's 11 research-backed brain boosters, patented advanced formula. Uh, yeah, so I was hoping that might help a little bit, but I can't say I've noticed a huge difference using it based on that.
Yeah, and I suppose a lot of
Um,
these things that takes time for you have to like go a month or two
yeah,
before it, kind of mixes in with your chemistry.
yeah. I think the good thing is they've got a 60-day guarantee. So I've just contacted them to see if there's anything else I should be doing. Should I be taking all four at once, or is there anything else I
Oh
should be
yeah.
doing to see if I can
Mhm.
improve? I take two in the morning, two in the afternoon. Let's see what they say. So that's that one there. Let me just zoom back out again. Oh, someone else is here. Just come for the last little bit. Right. And so, yeah, I put that into a project again. I don't know if you've used projects within a Notion, but yeah, in here I've got ADHD, and then we were just looking at strategies. And within Claude, you can turn on these things called artifacts. I don't think they're turned on by default, but allows you to create these little artifacts. So, for example, this was looking at a perplexity thread, and then it's come together with research analysis, and it comes together with this document. So, business optimization, entrepreneurship, research analysis, and integration framework. And yeah, it's just looking at all of that information I pulled in from Perplexity and coming up with an output from there. So yeah, come up with a 30-day print architecture. Um, provides a framework for ADHD entrepreneurs. Compressed framework aligns perfectly with ADHD attention cycles. So yeah, I'll try and put together like a unique scheme for myself. Hey, Dean,
Hello.
Hi, Dean.
how are you?
So,
All right. I just joined AIX and saw that this was coming on. And I
Yeah,
said,
no
I'll
worries.
jump in there and see what's going on.
Yeah, we've had about 45 minutes. So yeah, we had a little
Yep.
chat and things, and we were just exploring Claude. You were just going to say something, Debbie?
yeah, Paul, you said that this was going to like guide you into creating an artifact in Claude.
Yeah.
Did I understand you correctly?
This is an example of an artifact, what I'm showing on the right hand side. So these ones here where they sort of show on the left hand side, and you have like, it looks like a little looks like something, one of those, I don't know, from the Bible where they they put it all
Oh
out.
yeah, a
But
little
yeah,
scroll, a little
yeah,
tablet.
that's uh that's an example of an artifact, and I'll show you how you can turn that on if you haven't had a play with it. But it's
I
useful
have,
because you can copy out, whereas sometimes it
yeah,
will create things and then there's no easy way to copy.
I
But here
have
you can just get a
built
copy up here.
again, so that I'm on, to make sure I understand what you're saying. I have built
Yeah,
artifacts in Claude,
yeah.
but I have to write the instructions, I have to refine the instructions, I have to, check the accuracy. Are you saying that
hmm
that would help this, whatever is going on here, it actually
hmm
writes the instructions for an artifact in Claude?
Um, this is not what this is doing. No,
Okay, all right.
this is just looking at that perplexity information. So you can you can paste in. I don't know if you tried that, but you can paste in from your perplexity your link, and then it'll be able to look at it and just make sense of what that information is. So yeah, the artifacts will be created, but I like the artifacts because you can copy them out easily. Before it was creating a code block in ChatGPT. A code block, it's got a little copy up button, but this one didn't have it, so I was having to copy it. So all the times, just where you can try and minimize friction, it's always good for me. So yeah, if I've got
Right,
something, and what you can do is you can ask Claude to help create your project instructions. So again, for this particular project, if we go back to projects and then ADHD, I can't remember, and then if we go to instructions, then we've got in here, this is the project overview. So Claude helped me come up with this, yeah, project instructions.
okay,
So it talked about my 30-day sprint, and then it's broken it up into 4 weeks, I think it was. So week 3, week 4. These are the things we're sort of working on each of the 4 weeks. And then these are some of the tools I use. So BeMinder. Sometimes people work well to deadlines. Then BeMinder is a way of setting a deadline, and if you don't meet it, then you have to pay a fine. So it starts at
oh,
$5, and then it increases every time you fail, and it goes, 5, then 10, then 20. And you can also add a higher one. So if you got something, if the stakes are higher, sometimes that can be more of an impetus for you to sort of get things done. So
right,
that one there, yeah.
some built-in
Uh,
motivation.
yeah, I can quickly show it to you. This is come over to here. Yeah, I've only got a few things in there, but I could add more in there. For example, yeah, exercise every day. And the nice thing as well, I'll just load up in a new. Actually, I think I can do it in this one. Yeah, if you see here, there's all these integrations, so you can link it with Duolingo. So, for example, you said you're going to do a streak where you're going to do Duolingo every day, or you're going to do it 5 days a week. Then it can link in with Duolingo and check if you're doing a language learning. Strava or tracks sort of your exercise routine. Runkeeper, similar sort of idea. Clothes Master is for doing sort of doing tasks, doing your chores, that sort of thing. Keeps track of that, and you can also link in with automation tools like Make and Zapier. So I could set one up, for example, that tracks. Did I post a YouTube video that week? And it sort of checks that it's actually been posted, that sort of thing. So add that into
Okay.
there. So yeah, you have all these different integrations. And then if I log in, I'll just show you. So yeah, deep focus. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't get my. I try and do 4 hours a day, and I'll include this training as one of my 4 hours of deep focus. But I've still got 3 more to do later today. I tend to work late. I'm a bit of a night owl. And then every week I do a YouTube video. Then you can see if you don't hit it, then you've got to pay $5. The weekly
And
execution was
when you pay the $5, who gets the $5?
Well, they get it. There's another tool called Stick where you can sort of set up different people who get your money. It could be a friend who gets your money, or you could have like an anti-charity. So, say if you're
Okay.
say if you're anti-Trump, then it could go to like the Trump fund or something like that. So yeah, if you fail your task, then it goes to someone you don't like, or if you're
Alrighty.
if you're a vegetarian, it goes to something related to just the carnivore society or something. Uh, yeah, and you can just add a new task in here. So let's say I want to add a new task. So you can track it manually or use one of those. I just wonder if it connects into, yeah, it doesn't seem to connect just directly into, you can track your sleep and that sort of thing. I was just trying to see if it connected into my health on my phone. I might get an Aura ring at some point, but yeah, we'll just track it manually. If I click on plus. For habits you want to do more, things like running, going to bed on time, studying, weigh yourself every day, works the body fat percentage. So say if I want to lose weight, uh, and then it's in kilograms, I want to lose, I'm at 96, so I want to lose 2 kilograms. And then I use a tool called RenPay. I've got these smart scales. So let's see, it was 97.4. 90, hold on a second, just make sure I did it right. What are your units for this goal? Kilograms. What's the most your weight can change in one day? So yeah, I'm not sure I'd do it that way. I'd prefer to have it where I sort of have a goal. But yeah, we'll do, let's say, commit to at least 0.5 kilograms per week, per day. Again, I wouldn't really want to do it. So let's say I'll do one exercise of 15 minutes or more, and then we'll say every day, daily exercise. Okay, daily exercise. Yeah. And we'll start at 5, so you see it goes to 20, 5, 10, 30, 90, and then it goes up to 270 after that.
And you
Um,
can set those amounts yourself?
yeah, I think you can. So let's continue that, and then we'll put my card detail on there. I don't know how much money these guys make, but it's a good little idea. Then I can go to my goal, and then here, if I scroll down, you've got some post detail, and you can pledge. So you can increase my pledge if I wanted to. I can increase it up to $10, so I can make it a higher amount. And then you've got this thing called no excuses mode. So yeah, occasionally, if you miss it by mistake, you can go in there. Um, so uh, and that's tracked in there. And then I'll just say for today I did. So yeah, just put a 1 in there. Walked before dinner. Had progress, and it goes in a graph so you can track your progress. So it's quite useful. Lots of people just before deadline they sort of like they suddenly get everything done. I mean, at university, then yeah,
Yep.
most times it would be my coursework would be done the day before. I'd be up all night sort of working on stuff. uh,
I
so
like
yeah,
the ability to visualize progress toward goals.
yeah, uh,
The charts and the reminders are great.
yeah, that's quite nice. And get back into there, get to my dashboard. And then if we look at something like my deep focus graph, you'll see so it goes up and down. Sometimes I'm getting close to the limit. Sometimes I do more in a week. I might have a session where I'm really focused and I do like 10 hours in a day. But yeah, I don't like it's mainly stuff that's working towards a goal and making money. Then I try and track into there. Then yeah, I find that useful. Um, let's have a quick catch up with Dean. So you just joined the community, and what are you working on?
Actually, I'm working on the learning with an emphasis on Make and Airtable. I met Max through a project which I have joined
Mhm.
that he is involved in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm part of. We're both part of Jack's community, so that's how we know each other. Myself and Max, we've been part of that community for a long time. I think I'm a level 7. Yeah, I'm a level 7. I think he's a level 9 in that group on school, and then he set up his own community. There's a few in his group has set up communities and things. Or you might know one of the guys, Noel. He does a podcast around make and that sort of stuff. You might find interesting. Let's go if we search for what am I saying? No. Yeah, this guy Noel Tovey Grinley. He used to work in Jack's group, and he created there's a tool which basically ingested all of Jack's information, and there was like a chat bot you could go back to. It was a Terminator themed, and he runs a podcast with his wife called AI Automations for Business. He's a good guy. Yeah, and so Jack, his community, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I know quite a lot about make.com as well. I've
If I
played
look
around with it for some
distracted,
time.
it's because I'm taking notes.
Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, so in my make, I've got quite a few different automations coming to there. What I was planning to show today was a MCP server for WhatsApp. Debbie didn't really use WhatsApp, so it didn't make much sense to go in too much in detail. But I do have I do have a detailed guide, so if you did want to have a look at that, then I can
Yeah,
share
I
a link
would.
with you. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
let me grab that for you. So I'll quickly show you as well. You missed it running, so zoom in a bit. I've got a zoom button here. Then this is all of my chats coming in, and they get ingested, go into a database. So you can see my notifications are all out of whack. Sorry, guys. And then Slack. So yeah, this is my chat with my best friend, some chats with my wife, and then I showed a little bit earlier, sort of yeah, just querying it. So because it's connected in with my Claude Desktop, then I can query it. So let's see. This is an example. Um, so look at my WhatsApp message for today with my wife. Give me a summary of our wedding anniversary plans. And what it's done is it's got direct access. It's listed the messages. It's going in decoding my plans. And then you can see based on your WhatsApp messages from today, here's the summary of your wedding plans. You and Sanaya celebrate your 24th wedding anniversary. Didn't say congratulations, but there we go. Someone congratulated you both. Wow. Well, as my wife said, wow, 24th happy anniversary. And there was a discussion about ordering food for dinner. And
And
then
what
a few
tool was it that
documents.
you used to generate this?
So the tool I'm using is, let me scroll to my other one here. One second, that's not what I wanted. Right, let's go back to here. Oh, yeah, this one. And then if we go to my, should be this one here. Yeah, so there were some issues with the original, and then I fixed it using Claude Code. And then
Okay, so,
this
so you have a
is,
Git repo on it.
yeah, this is my version of it. It's my, so what I'll do is I'll share that link with you, and I'll also share like a document. Are you a Windows or a PC user?
Actually, I'm a Linux user.
Are you a Linux user? Yeah.
Long,
Um, it's gonna,
long time Linux.
yeah, it's going to be more like the Mac operating system because Mac basically operates on Linux. So all of the commands is likely to be the same on a
Yeah,
Linux operating system. So
yeah,
let me just go grab that for you.
got that.
If we come back into so right, and come back here. We'll go pull that down. Right. Let's
I
just
can't,
find.
I primarily use Signal, but I can't tell you how many times I've had to go back and try to look for things that are in my Signal chat.
Yeah.
I'm just now
Yeah.
starting to use WhatsApp.
Yeah. This is the guy. I'm just going to make that. Let's publish that one there. And I sort of So yeah, just where it says Mac OS, just ignore that and use it on your Linux. You can post in the group if you get stuck, and I'll see if I can help.
Okay.
And then once you've got it set up, then it will show up in your Claude. So I come down here into my settings.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
if we
So
go over to developer.
I'm actually signing up for Codex 5.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure whether I'll be able to use Claude based because I'm right now I'm using Copilot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is based on Claude, but you don't necessarily have to use Claude. You can use anything that's got access to
Okay.
MCPs.
Okay.
So yeah, if that Codex, is that the one from OpenAI?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Codex 5 is I think their latest. Max
Yeah.
recommended it to me as I told him I was coming off of Copilot and looking for an upgrade.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look, quick look. We'll see. Let's go back here. So there's Codex from ChatGPT, support MCP servers. Yeah, I haven't looked into Signal, but they probably have like a MCP server as well. So OpenAI Codex supports integration with MCP servers. So yeah, what you can do is ask Codex itself how you would link the two together. So yeah, if you give it the information, then I think there is some information actually for OpenAI. Let me just go back to that project. And if I scroll down, connect to MCP server. Claude. I think there was something here. Sorry, it's for cursor. So yeah, if you're using cursor, you'd update the mcp.json, but there's probably something similar. What file is requires updating for codecs for MCP configuration? In Claude, it's this file here. So Claude Desktop. Uh, EG. I do have Codex running. I haven't used it a great deal. I was using it for a project yesterday. Don't know if I still got it open.
Yeah, I was ready to jump into Claude and he suggested Codex instead.
Yeah. So the way to do it in Codex, you could probably give it, if it's able to access websites, it probably can. Like in Claude, you could just give it that website, and then you could say, I'm trying to get this set up within Codex connection, and it'll probably be able to guide you through and set it up for you.
Yeah,
I used Claude Code to fix the one I had, and that's useful. If you haven't already, the Academy is useful for learning
which
about
academy?
uh,
Oh yeah,
make.com. Yeah.
I'm already several courses into that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
I passed all their courses, so yeah, I've got theirs. They do have some other ones for developers.
Yeah.
This is sort of like just a no-code platform that allows you to link different platforms together. So again, it's like we were talking earlier, you don't want to use more tools than you need. It's very easy to get shiny object syndrome and jump into all the tools and that sort of stuff, especially in this space or in lots of
Yeah,
spaces. There's lots of things going on.
it's something I resisted for a long time. I've been a software engineer for more than 20 years, so
Yeah,
this is a change up for me.
yeah. It's funny, my son's doing A-level computing and he had a topic to create like a hangman game and he's having to code it all manually and stuff like that, and I sort of just I just asked one of the tools to create one for me and it created one and I asked for an ASCII sort of hangman that created that and then I asked for a different version which is using Pygame, which is a gaming version of it, and it created that with sort of graphics. And I said, can you make it a Minecraft theme because my son likes Minecraft, and it sort of in about, I suppose, at about 5 minutes, we had two different coding platforms where it'll probably take him an hour to do it all, at least an hour to do it all manually. And if you did
Oh
anything
yeah.
advanced, that'd take a lot longer. But it's what's how much when you're learning stuff, how much do you use AI and how much do you don't? There's quite a nice now. They got sort of a learning mode. So in ChatGPT, you can go to like a learning mode. So down here, there's a if you go, let's have a look. Try and find where it is. Might not even be on this version. Yeah, let me go to the online version. We should be able to find it. So if we click on the plus, then yeah, you've got study and learn. So you
That's what
can
I've been looking for. Yep.
help me with my homework, explain a topic to me,
The
create a
idea
practice
is
quiz.
the idea there is that it will guide you into learning instead of just giving you the answers.
Yeah, there's a guy called Sal Khan from Khan Academy, and he's got quite a good TED talk all about how you can use AI. And they've got a thing called Khan Amigo that helps, and it's a Socratic method, so it's more like a tutor rather than
Yeah,
it just giving you
yeah,
answers. So
yeah.
yeah, in my case, just
I'm very curious about that.
yeah. So we could say we were talking about keto earlier, so we could say explain keto diet to me in simple terms.
You're in learning mode now?
Yeah, I've got it turned on. Uh, so yeah, normally your body runs on carbs, breads, pasta, rice, sugar, fruit. They break down into glucose, which is your fuel. On keto, you eat very few carbs. So yeah, I'm doing 25 grams a day. With not enough glucose around, your body flips to burning fat for fuel instead. Fat gets turned into little energy molecules called ketones. That's where the name comes from, keto. So yeah, instead of glucose, you're burning these ketones. So it's high fat, avocados, cheeses, and a moderate protein and very low carbs. So it's keep your body in ketosis. Uh, Quick check. Do you want me to also cover the pros and cons? Okay. Uh, okay, cover pros and cons. So weight loss, yeah, I lost about 2 to 3 kilograms in my first week, and sort of level off a bit. But yeah, you tend to lose a bit of weight. You can get this thing called keto flu, which I've had a little bit of, where it's like your body's converting. So when you give up anything, if you give up alcohol or cigarettes or drugs, then you sort of have this come down period. In the same way, if you give up sugars, then your body sort of like doesn't like it too much. So yeah, you can have sharper thinking, can help with people use it for type 2 diabetes. That was what was originally was found to be useful for. It was the John Hopkins University, I think. They also looked at it for things like Alzheimer's, supposed to help there. So yeah, you cut out a lot of foods, so it can be difficult long term to keep it up. Yeah, keto flu, that's what I've just had recently. And then you just got to be careful that you don't miss out on some of those things there. So yeah, then it can talk through that. Might be better to cover a different topic though. Let's see. Do you have any topics you'd like to cover, either of you?
Well, how is this different? Well, we're kind of getting off topic for the meeting,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'll pose a question to like that outside.
yeah. No worries. Um, yeah, I mean, it's no sort of it's not sort of super strict these meetings. It's just to get to know the members and sort of see how we can help each other and provide value. I'm just a member like yourselves. I've just volunteered as Max is on vacation. I have run some of my own trainings as well, but I'm part of this program from a guy called Rich Sheffrin called Zenith Mind. You might be interested in, Debbie, and it's all about using sort of chat GPT to help you, like a personal coach. Let's see if I can find if there's any pages about it. I'm surprised it hasn't got, I can't see the main page about it. So yeah, every twice a week I run these office hours, which is all around that sort of process, which is using chat. We have this, let me go into here. Yeah, so we have these sort of these prompts. We have 14 days of questions with these multiple choice questions on different topics. So this is aspirations and identity, and we answer these multiple choice questions, and then it sort of tracks how well it knows you over time using this sort of mirror score, I call it. And then this one here is all about your strengths, success drivers, cognitive preferences. And once you've done all that, then it puts together like a God prompt, which looks at, yeah, just takes in a lot of information and tries to find where your strengths, where your weaknesses, and then you work through different all these different prompts. So yeah, this one here builds on the God prompt and that sort of thing, and does like a detailed guide around, where you are, what's useful. And then we've got later on, we've got, for example, an execution guide. And then there's like he used to be a sort of hypnosis expert. He used to run clinics, so he's got some hypnosis scripts and things. So that's something I've been working on. You create like a mentor council, which can be quite useful. So within ChatGPT, say for example, you wanted so if you, for example, you wanted a mentor council around health, for example. Let me come into there, do a new one. I would like a mentor council around the keto diet. Please, can you assemble a dream team around this topic and give me more details about their credentials? So yeah, I've got like a mentor council with all different areas. One's around getting things done, focus, productivity. One's around health and fitness. One's around spirituality, and you can sort of pull on people who are experts, people you like reading or following, that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know a huge number of people. I know there's a few YouTubers I've watched over time. So yeah, it's going to come up with a system here. Dr. Stephen Finnery. Performance longevity. Good. And then what you can do is you can sort of ask for example, a round table where you can just ask their expertise on a particular topic. Okay. I'll put let's hold a quick round table with the mentor council. We'll look to wrap this up fairly soon, but I'll just run through this one. Council.
Yeah.
So I'll just say, let's have a round table. I'll be the host. So any topic of interest to you, you can put together, either just get AI to put together one, or you can just find experts that you like, and then ask for something like this, like a round table, or you could ask for quotes around a certain thing, or you can ask questions and then get the different responses. So sometimes it's useful to have like a balanced perspective. You may get different, and most of the time it's got a good understanding. I think most of Claude had a big lawsuit. I think they were fined 1.2 billion where they were pulling information from some of these sources, where they pull like ebooks from, LibGen and Zeb's library and places like that. So
Yeah, I
they've
saw
got
that.
all these books imported in. So yeah, you can most books it knows about pretty well. So yeah, sort of a. So let's have a look. We've got this round table. I'm testing keto for focus and stable energy. I want evidence-based guardrails, simple meals. So I'd say no, I ask for questions as I'm the host. So yeah, if you ever see ChatGPT going off track, just press that stop button. Right. You are questioning each been to give their take. So I'd say at the moment I am working around a 25-gram total carbs for the day. Is that appropriate for a 49-year-old who is about 2 meters tall? I'm quite tall, yeah. That's like 2 meters tall. I'm about 6'7", and starting around 97 kilograms. And let's have a look. Let's zoom in a bit so we can see what's going on. Yeah, 20 to 30 grams of total carbs is a classic zone. Almost always induces nutritional ketosis, regardless of age, sex, or height. For you, 25 grams are appropriate. You're large framed, active, and not morbidly obese. That makes you metabolically flexible. The 25 is right. As you progress, you may experiment with a slightly higher ceiling. Magic's not just carb, it's tracking outcomes. Given your size, you want to make sure your protein is robust, carbs that, but make sure protein doesn't drop too low. So it's saying closer to 1.6. So yeah, you can take this information from different people. Okay, means you can still build. And then from there, I could ask, for example, okay, what is a suitable protein target and how soon can I switch to a higher band for total net carbs? You want 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kilograms. That's around 155. Wow, that's a lot. I had it gave me a recipe plan yesterday, and it was like loads, had cauliflower mash and beans were loads, and then it was like two burgers, and then I ate about half of it, and that's about all I can manage. And then it was basically 2 meals for me. So I need to go back and get it to, change the sizes a bit, or to have more meals or something.
I'm going to have to interrupt you. I have a tea time to get ready for.
Okay, sure, no problem. Seems like a good time to.
I like, Debbie, I liked your video with Max.
Oh, good. I was going to mention it to you. Thank you. He was so helpful and getting me through that learning curve using Make. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad you got to see it. Nice to get to talk with you, Paul. Nice to meet you, Dean.
Nice to meet you, Debbie.
You recorded this, Paul. Is that correct? Will Max put it up in the classroom?
Yeah, I'll make it available, and I'll share as well. I've got instructions for the Mac plus the PC, and people can take a look at that. See how you get on with that, Dean. If you get stuck, give us a shout in the group. It uses the WhatsApp web, so you basically have to scan the QR code. I found it for me. I had to connect to USA via the VPN, and then it attached for some reason wouldn't connect in the UK. But it does like this ASCII version of the QR code, which is quite funny, and it sort of changes every 30 seconds or so. So you scan that in, it connects, and it downloads it all to a database, and then it just, as it's running, it just keeps pulling in new messages, and then you can query it like you saw there. So once it's connected to your MCP, so for example, in your case, might be Codex, then you can query it and it'll pull from the WhatsApp sort of messages and that sort of thing. Yeah. So thanks for joining, everyone.
I'll take a look at that.
I will.
I'm glad you joined, Debbie. It would have been me on my own.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think it's about time for me to go get to work.
Yeah. All right. Get to work.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.